Chemistry mixing acids. A laboratory has 60 cubic centimeter of a solution that is 40% HCl acid. How many cubic centimeters of a 15% solution of HCl acid should be mixed with a 60 centimeter cube of 40% acid to obtain a final solution that is 25% HCl? How much of the 25% solution is there? So we know we have 60 cubic centimeters of this 40% solution, but we don't know how much of this 15% solution we have. Here's a table. So we're going to let X be the amount of that 15% solution of HCl acid. Here's a table. We're mixing this 15% solution with the 40% solution to obtain this final solution, right? How much of the 15% we have? Well, we don't know. So X represents that. But we know that there is 60 cubic centimeters of this 40% solution. If I mix those two up, the final solution should be X plus 60. Here's a picture. So we have this 15% solution is being mixed with the 40% solution to obtain a final solution that is 25%. How much of the 15% we have? Well, we don't know, so we're going to let that be X. We know how much of the 40% solution we have. That's 60. And the final should be, because we're mixing those two, it should be the sum of those two. So X plus 60. Now, what we're going to do is basically we're going to multiply those two, and sum them up, and that should be equal to this times this. And that's what it looks like, right? 15% is the same thing as 0.15. That's where that 0.15 is coming from. And then the same thing, 40%, and then 25%. And from here, we basically just solve for X, and we have our answer. So we're going to multiply this 0.40 with 60, and then distribute this over to get this equation here. And we don't have like terms that we can combine here. We don't have like terms that we can combine here. So the next step would be to move the variables to the same side. So we're going to subtract that 0.15x and 0.15x. This cancels, so we have 24 equals 0.10x plus 15. Take this 15 over to the other side by subtracting. And what we get is 9 equals 0.10x. Well, to isolate the variable x, we can divide both sides by 0.10. And that will give you x equals 90. What does that tell me? Well, since x is the amount of that 15% solution that we have, that means we have 90 cubic centimeter of this 15% solution, right? And then, of course, we have 60 cubic centimeter of that 40% solution. But if I mix those two up, 90 plus 60 should be the final result here, which is 150 cubic centimeter of that 25% solution is what we have. So from here, what we know is that 90 cubic centimeter of 15% solution of HCl should be mixed with the 60 cubic centimeter of that 40% acid to obtain a final solution of 150 cubic centimeter of that 25% solution.